Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, I believe. I'm losing track of days, I swear. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing okay. The reason the light is like it is because it is 7:47 in the morning. I've just done a swim, but what I wanted to talk about obviously was the fact that I had my first Wegovy injection. And just to get the initial out of the way, obviously I'm very pleased with the 2 pound weight loss last week. That was nice to see me in the 22 stones, well, the 22 stone something mark. I've certainly not been in that for God knows how long, so that was really nice to see. So obviously I had my Wegovy injection, which I showed you on the last video of me actually doing it. I didn't have anything, because obviously what I'm trying to look out for then is obviously symptoms and things like that. Didn't have anything for the remainder of that day, which I was quite pleased about. Has it helped with food noise? Some. I wouldn't say it was as strong as when I first took Manjaro, where that was very much like boom and it was gone. A bit more subtle, I would say. Certainly more subtle. I'll tell you what hasn't been subtle though is how I've reacted to it. Now, if you've been long-term viewer of this channel, you will know that when I first started taking Manjaro, I literally had nothing, no symptoms. Occasional constipation, as I have mentioned numerous times, but that was about it. There was no nausea, no headaches, nothing really. Certainly not diarrhea. I've crossed completely more the other way. Not been so much the case this time. So yesterday, so Tuesday, so that's what, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so day 3 of having Wegovy in my system. What is this idiot doing? Sorry, there was just a person who was like literally letting every single person out whilst he had a huge queue behind him. I mean, there's being nice and then there's being stupid, you know. So yeah, so yesterday, sorry, it's just there's quite a few people here, so I'm just trying to concentrate a second. Here we go. Right. Yesterday I went to the toilet for a number 2, and I'm sorry if this is turning into poo watch again, but somehow that seems to be where my channel is going. I went 4 times yesterday, so we go from one extreme to the other. Okay, and as we know, that's very unusual for me. But there was also 2 occasions yesterday where I felt extremely nauseous, and it sort of would come out of nowhere. There wouldn't be like a build up to it. I would be fine, and then suddenly really strongly come on feeling nauseous, to the point where I was almost then thinking I've got to get up and go to the toilet to be sick. But then it would just go as quickly as it came. And both of these times, well, unfortunately, when I was speaking to a client, so I couldn't really sort of just go, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to go be sick. So you kind of have to sort of pull through it and pretend it's not there. But that is certainly new. Not liking that. I've not had anything today as yet, but I'm sure, well, who knows, I might do. One thing that's really annoying, and I have read it could be a contributor to this, but my psoriatic arthritis is really on a flare up at the moment. So it kind of started with my itchiness of my skin really ramping up, and then because, as you know, I've been sort of saying I've been going swimming, I've been doing the gym. I did the gym Monday evening, I think, and my heel was then starting to hurt. Now my heel has been an issue for God knows how long, years, and it is also now one of the places that they've when they did the scan on me, that's where my psoriatic arthritis is. Well, that started playing up. So yesterday, I did the swimming in the morning. That was fine. And then in the evening, I did some weights, which were fine. And then because I was a bit pushed for time, because I was meant to be going out, because it was Mrs. Chris's dad's birthday meal last night, which was nice. I didn't go mad, so that was good. I was a bit pushed for time after I'd done my weight, so I thought, well, instead of doing a 30 minute treadmill on like gradient, I would do 15 minutes flat. Well, I think I got to about 8 minutes in and my heel just started killing, and then I managed to go to 10 minutes and I was like, I had to stop. And it was so fucking irritating for me, because it's like, just as I'm getting somewhere, does my body then go, no, you can't do that, no, not having this. So I was a bit irritable about that, but I went out, had a nice time. And then this morning I woke up and I had zero patience already from the second I woke up, just irritable from the get-go, which I've noticed is something that happens when I go through a flare-up. I kind of lose patience with everything. Heel was bad, but also I was getting pains all over, and my body just, the best way to describe it is you feel like your body's turning to stone. So where you were sort of flexible and whatnot, I mean, I'm only so flexible, but where you were somewhat flexible before, you're not anymore, and it's just pain. And I got into the pool already annoyed and irritable, and it just felt like I was swimming through tar. Something, I mean, I've been doing this swimming now every morning for quite a while now, and it's between the two of going swimming and the gym, this is the one that feels more okay for me to do. You know, I say easy, but easier. It certainly wasn't just now. So like a body that's turning into stone swimming through tar is what it felt like. So probably about 3-4 minutes in, I felt like just getting out. My patience was already zero. I was like, no, fuck this. I'm done. I'm not doing it. But I kept on. I did near enough half an hour, like I normally do. But I've had to have lots of breaks. I've had to reduce the speed that I would normally do, and it's just pain. And then like my skin's going it as well, and everything. So actually, yeah, I'm quite miserable at the minute, to be honest. But it's one of these flares that I go through. But apparently the Wegovy can be a contributing factor to it, because you put something new in your body and then your autoimmune goes into overdrive, and then your inflammation starts everywhere. Speaking of which, I am not expecting great things this Sunday. With inflammation obviously comes water and water retention. So I'm expecting to put on weight this week, despite whatever I might be doing. That's already been suggested by my friend AI as well. It's a distinct possibility, or I might stay the same, or if I do lose, then it will be not as much as maybe I would have done had I not been going through this flare up. So this week is kind of, I don't know if I want to say a write-off, but I can't get too bogged down with whatever the scales say this Sunday. I've got to use it as kind of a data point, basically, just to sort of say, right, okay, well, let's see how we're getting on with my flare up, because I'm hoping it's going to go sooner rather than later, because I don't particularly want this over Christmas. I want to sort of be back to how I was feeling maybe this time last week. But I just wanted to keep you, up to date with what's happening. Right, well, let's see how I did do. Again, I'm not expecting anything good with this, but it's not for any fault of my own, except my own body. So let's go to it, see how I did. Hey everyone, so you was then expecting me to go to obviously get weighed, but sorry, let me just move this a bit. I've got a bit of an announcement to make, and it's not really an announcement, it's just keeping you up to date with something. I've decided not to weigh this week. So the video you were watching earlier was from Wednesday, I think. Wednesday morning. It's now Friday morning, and my flare-up has continued all throughout the week. It hasn't got better, but it has a little bit, but it's been there all the way through, and I can feel that my body is just heavier and just full of water and everything. And so rather than just kind of go on there on Sunday and see that the scales have gone on quite a lot, and then get really disheartened, and then potentially go, oh fuck it, you know, and then potentially go haywire, I've decided no, I'm not going to. I'm gonna just carry on what I'm doing. I'm gonna try and exercise as much as I can over the Christmas period, and sort of go again. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. This week hasn't, in all fairness, hasn't been fair. It's not been anything to do with me. Wegovy, I think, is not working for me, which is a bit annoying because I'm only one injection in so far. But nausea has continued. I had a little bit of a look into it, and it can be a contributing factor to a flare-up with psoriatic arthritis. Great. Okay, so that's probably one of the reasons why I've had this flare-up this week as well. And yeah, the food, I'll tell you what it has done. It's made eating uncomfortable, because I go from being hungry to being really full and then feeling sick very quickly, and it's not nice. So really, it hasn't got rid of the food noise. That's still there, so I still feel hungry and I still feel like I want to eat. But then when I go to eat, it's then horrible. It's completely different to Mounjaro. So I'm already in a position where I'm thinking, great, so I've got another 3 jabs of this, because I can't just have one jab and then go back to the other. I've got another 3 jabs to have of this, and then if nothing changes, well then I'm gonna have to go back to 5 milligrams Mounjaro. I can't, you know, I can't carry on like this. I hate feeling sick. It's one of the worst things for me, and it's what I've had quite a few times over the course of this week, and I'm not liking it. I'm hoping it's going to die down, because it's going to be hell to have a month of nausea. That's going to really do me in. But that's what I've decided. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up on the weight loss. I'm just being kind to myself. I know how I'll react if I look at the scales and it's gone up a fair bit because of everything that's happened this week. So I'm just avoiding it. I'm gonna carry on doing my exercise. Got Christmas on Thursday. I'm gonna enjoy it, and then I'll weigh on Sunday, the following Sunday, and then we go again. Okay, and hopefully by then things would have settled down. If it hasn't, I will be counting down the days so I go back to Mounjaro, because I can't carry on like this. But more importantly, I want to use this as an opportunity, because I've mentioned it, to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, okay? Regardless of where you are in your journey, or even if you are on a journey, if you're thinking about it, really enjoy your Christmas, okay? I know I'm going to, and at the end of the day, thank you so much for those who've been with me throughout my journey. So this all started in the early part of the year with me looking into Mounjaro and wanting to sort of think about what my options are, to me then starting at the beginning of April, so very end of March, beginning of April, with Mounjaro, and here I am, nearly 7.5 stone lighter, over 100 pounds lost, which I am going to go into more detail about in future videos about what I do and what I've done. But thank you for jumping with me on this journey. I want to give a special shout out to Carry On Regardless, who's going to enjoy the fact that her name's now been called out, kept in contact. She's just finished her exam, so well done you, and yeah, and keep on as you are, because you're doing great. But all of you, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to all of you, and I will see you on the Sunday after Christmas. Anyways, let's go for a walk, shall we?
Wise Mount Jaro, come on in and you can see his goofy face, arthritic knee, still living life like he's 23. But no more chips and no more cheese, his boobs alone are double D's, and he sits down when he pees. Wise Mount Jaro, oh wise Mount Jaro, losing weight, that's his job, so he can finally see his knob. If only he could stop shoveling food in his gob, spending hours on the bog, trying to pass another law. Wise Mount Jaro, oh wise Mount Jaro, subscribe to him now, it'll mean a lot, so he can finally stop being a blob, so he can finally stop being such a big old hairy blob. Subscribe to him now, it'll mean a lot, so he can finally stop being a blob, so he can finally stop being such a big old hairy blob.